Now I've migrated my local WordPress installation to my web host. The first couple of times I did this, ran into a couple of trouble spots. So I'm going to cover that here in case you run into the same issue. First one that I ran into was when I tried to change the default URLs for the local database to point to the new URLs on the live web host. So when I will go down here to Settings, General, to make that change, here's localhost / WordPress migrate, and like I demonstrated in the video when migrating the local installation to the web server, I need to change both of these to point to the new location. So what I have is S2 .atechapart.com. So now we can see the installation there because we did migrate it successfully. But I need to change the default URL on the local WordPress installation database to point to this one here, which is the destination URL. But when I got to this page to make that change, I was unable to make the change because both of these boxes were grayed out. So if you see these fields grayed out and it does not let you change the address URL, the WordPress address URL, or the site address URL, you're going to have to look into your WP config file. So I'm going to go into that now, show you what I mean. In the WP config file, let me open this up because it's in my editor right now. What's preventing you from making that change and those boxes being grayed out, you'll see something like this in your WP config file. So it's these two lines, and what you need to do is go in there and either comment those lines out or delete those lines altogether and save the file, so that when you go back in here and refresh the page, it'll now be open for you to change the URL. Okay, so that will address the grayed out boxes issue during the migration. So something to be aware of. If you run into this problem, jump into your WP config file and remove those two lines or comment them out so that you can proceed with the rest of the migration. The other one is, once you're done with the migration, in most instances, you may want to get back into your local installation so that you can continue developing the site, and then when you've made those changes, you can do the same process of migrating the site over to the web host. But what's going to happen is, so like what happened in the video where I did migrate the site, I'm going to go ahead and run through that step again and you'll see what I mean. So I'm going to put in the new URL of its destination. There it is. Now I'm going to save changes. Now what happens is the URL actually up here right now is taking me to the s2.atechapart.com login for the admin, not the local host one. Normally when you're first doing this, you will see like an error page, and that's because it has changed the URL. So once I update that URL, it redirects me to the new URL. It doesn't keep me local. So you want to change this back to the local URL so it doesn't redirect you, so that way you can go ahead and continue development on the site locally and then move those changes over when you're ready again. So to do that, I've got to go to the PHP MyAdmin and go to the database for that local WordPress installation. Here I am, WordPress Migrate, and I'm looking for WP options. In WP options, I need to change site URL and home back to what they were. So I'm going to go to Edit. Now I saved this in a text file, so this is the original local URL. Now that's what was in those two fields earlier in the WordPress dashboard under General, and I'm just changing it back. So I'm going to hit Go. I'm going to do the same thing here for home. It's just those two fields. I'm putting it back to the URL that it was before I changed it to the new URL. There we are. There's both of them. You may want to grab this before you make that change, because that address is already in those two fields. So just copy and paste it to like a text file or something, so you can come back to it when you're done and change the URL back so you can access it again locally. So with that done, I'm going to go back over here, type in localhost, WordPress, Migrate. It's going to take me to the site, but I'm going to type in WP-admin to log in. And it takes me to the dashboard of the local installation. If it doesn't for you, then it'll ask you to log in, but bottom line is I am back on my local installation, so I can make all the changes that I need to, and then repeat the process again to migrate the site to the web host. Alright, so that should wrap things up for migrating a local WordPress installation to a live web host.